let's dive into the fascinating world of the UK's immigration policy, where promises are bold, rhetoric is tough, and reality, well, it's a bit of a mess. The star of our show is none other than Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who's taking center stage with a pledge to smash those nefarious people-smuggling gangs. Because, clearly, what we need here is a bit of tough talk to magically make the problem disappear. Just picture it, Starmer in a superhero cape, single-handedly bringing down the bad guys with nothing but sheer willpower and a catchy soundbite. But wait, wasn't there another plan, a bit less dramatic? Ah yes, the previous Conservative government had this grand idea of sending asylum seekers off to Rwanda. That was supposed to solve everything, wasn't it? Ship them off and problem solved. But Labour, in its infinite wisdom, decided to scrap that idea. Maybe they thought it was a bit too Love Island meets Survivor for their taste. Now, we're left with Starmer's promise to get tough, though what exactly that means is still a bit unclear. Tough on what? The small boats? The smugglers? Or just the people who dare to cross the channel? Speaking of which, let's talk numbers. As of August 19th, 2024, nearly 20,000 brave souls had crossed the channel in small boats this year alone. Yes, you heard that right, 20,000. That's more than last year at this time, but hey, it's still better than 2022 when a record 45,755 people made the trip. So, let's give the government some credit. They managed to bring the numbers down a bit, even if it's just by sheer luck rather than effective policy. And who are these determined individuals risking everything to reach the shores of the UK? It turns out, the majority hail from Afghanistan, making up nearly a fifth of all arrivals. Close behind are Iranians, followed by those from Vietnam and Turkey. Clearly, these people didn't get the memo that the UK isn't rolling out the red carpet for them. But here they are, defying the odds, the weather, and the government's best efforts to stop them. And what about the demographics? Well, 83% of these small boat arrivals are male, and a large chunk of them are in the prime of their lives, aged between 25 and 39. So, they're young, they're resilient, and they're not easily deterred by a bit of British bureaucracy. Now, you might wonder, why does the UK want to send these people to Rwanda or anywhere else for that matter? Well, it's all about optics, really. The government wants to look tough on immigration, to show that they mean business. But when the rubber meets the road, or in this case, the channel, it turns out that tough talk is a lot easier than actually doing something effective. So, while Starmer is out there smashing smuggling rings in his imaginary superhero universe, the reality on the ground is a bit different. Let's not forget about the asylum process itself, a well-oiled machine of efficiency and speed, or not. Just over 97,000 people claimed asylum in the UK in the year leading up to June 2024. That's quite a number, but nothing compared to the peak back in 2002 when over 100,000 people applied. Of course, back then, the world was dealing with the aftermath of conflicts in Afghanistan, Somalia, and Iraq. Nowadays, the numbers have crept up again, thanks in part to ongoing crises in places like Syria. But here's where things get really interesting, the backlog. Yes, that dreaded word that haunts every government department. As of June 2024, over 85,000 cases were waiting for an initial decision. That's more than 118,000 people in limbo, some for months, others for years. It's like waiting for a bus that might never come. Rishi Sunak once made a grand promise to clear the backlog by the end of 2023. But, like many political promises, it's turned out to be more of a wishful thought than a realistic goal. At the end of December, thousands of complex cases were still languishing in the system, waiting for someone to notice them. And what about those who don't get the green light to stay? The government likes to talk tough about deportations, but the numbers tell a different story. In the year leading up to June 2024, a grand total of 7,190 people were sent back to their home countries. That's up from the previous year, but still, a drop in the ocean compared to the tens of thousands who have arrived. And when it comes to those arriving in small boats, just 3% have been returned since 2018. It's almost as if the system isn't working as smoothly as the government would like us to believe.